Hello everybody and welcome back to Kirsten's Cove. So today's video is going to be a tad different. I absolutely love Vampire Diaries, and so this last April I went to Epic Con's I Was Feeling Epic Again convention in Covington, which, if you don't know, that is where the Vampire Diaries was filmed. That was Mystic Falls, and so they have these conventions in the actual town, which just puts it over the top. It was my very first convention, so I was a tad nervous. So I had VIP for this convention, which was nice. I did like it. The reason why I'd gotten it this time was because I got a free photo op, which was what was most important to me. So when I first got the tickets, I joined. They have a Facebook group where they share a lot of information and where people can share like tips and tricks and things like that. And I saw in there somewhere that they were like, sometimes it's better to, if you think you're going to go to more than one time just do photo ops, one time just do autographs, so that way you're not dazzled or like frazzled, especially with it being my first one. So I just went with photo ops, and so I got a free one with this one, which is a big reason why I wanted it. And honestly, I liked it. I loved it. So I got photo ops with Daniel Gillis, who plays Elijah. I have all the tickets still. I got a duo op with Nate and Danielle, which the Colvina, so it was Cole and Davina. Michael and Zach, so Tyler and Matt. Ariel Kebbel, who is a saint. Oh my gosh, I love her. She was the host also for the panels. She did amazing. She's coming back again in December, and I'm so excited. And then my last photo op was with Candace and Paul, the wonderful Caroline and Stefan. So those were who I got photos with, and honestly, for my first time, it was amazing. I actually loved the panels the most, so I'm going again in December. I decided not to do VIP in December, just because like the free photo op wasn't there again, or like wasn't there, and they also didn't have, with this one I got like food vouchers, and we don't have that for December, which is totally fine. So, but it was just one of those things where like the perks that I liked about the VIP I wasn't going to have this next time, so I figured I would just pay for general admission and go from there. But I'm still very excited to go back. So, but yeah, I loved the panels the most, and that's what I'm going to focus on more in December, is seeing panels, just because they had the most fun stories. I loved it. So the thing that I wanted to talk most about in this video, which is why it's a little different, is my experience with ADA. So that was this like little blue ribbon that I had on my VIP thing. So some people wear it on their wrist. Texture-wise and like sensory-wise, I didn't want it on my wrist. I wanted it on here, just so it never bothered me. I felt like a camp counselor with this thing. I'll have to show you some photos. But yes, so anyone who had the ADA pass got this little blue ribbon or bracelet. So I can't hear, and so I have interpreters, and I had requested interpreters back when they announced the event last September. I immediately emailed them and said, hey, is there any way that I can have interpreters, or that you could get interpreters for this? They had their first Vampire Diaries convention in October, and they didn't have any there, and so but like almost immediately, I think within a couple days, was before tickets went on sale, I got an email back saying, yes, of course, we will work. Like, we've never gotten interpreters for anything before, but like we're happy to like work to figure it out. And I said, perfect, that's great. I can send you some resources, some agencies that I really love that are nationwide. Here are some that are Atlanta specific. It was amazing. And so then I bought my tickets and didn't really hear anything. I was just like, you guys have the October one to deal with. Like, I'm not gonna ask. So then you had to like fill out a like form, like an ADA form. I also have a physical disability, but like I didn't need a wheelchair or anything like that, so I was fine. I was just like, I don't need a parking space, I don't need ADA parking or anything like that. Like, I'm Ubering everywhere. That's fine. My biggest thing was about the interpreters, and so it wasn't until I think like March that Julia, who handles all of the ADA stuff, had reached out and had first asked if I'd be okay, or like if I wanted just a friend to come with me for free to interpret. And if you don't know, that is a lot of what the ADA is in place for that to not happen. And so the last convention I tried going to, they told me that that was the only thing that they were willing to do, was have someone come with me for free, and they could just stand the entire time and interpret the entire convention. And that was just a really bad situation. They were not nice about it. It was not good. And so I immediately went into like fight or flight mode and got really defensive. So Julia, if you're watching this, I'm so very sorry. That situation had caused so much, not trauma, but like so my first reaction of like something getting asked that again was just like, no, absolutely not. I can't fight this again. I ended up not going to that convention because of that situation and how rude it was. Julia was not rude at all. She was so sweet about everything. Bless her heart. And then she came back like a few days later, or like a week later, and was just like, we got you interpreters. They're from Purple, which is a nationwide agency. I really love Purple. I love all of their interpreters. So I was like, sweet, awesome, great. I thought that they were just for panels. I didn't think that I could book any like meet and greets or anything like that, or have them come with me at any other point in time. When I got there, the interpreters were like, yeah, we're going with the other deaf person to their like meet and greets. And I was like, oh, good to know. I'll consider that next time. So maybe in December I'll do a meet and greet knowing that I could have my interpreters come with me. But the interpreters that they got, amazing. Oh my gosh. This was a 3-day convention. So the first day I had 2 interpreters. The second day I had those same 2 for the first half of the morning, and then one of them switched out with someone else for the second half of the day. And then the third day I had the person who had switched in, and then another interpreter. I know it's a tad confusing there. But so all in all, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 interpreters, I think. I think there might have been a 5th one there for like a couple hours. But anyway, so 3 out of 4 of them loved Vampire Diaries, knew the show, loved the show. There was even one interpreter that was just like, can you take a picture of me interpreting because Paul Wesley is up on the stage, like with like him in the background? And I was like, yes, absolutely. It was so much fun that like seeing them react to some of the stories. But there'd be some times where like they would tell a story and I knew that they understood exactly what was going on and like kind of laughed to themselves about it. So that was really fun. Like I loved them. I had the absolute blast with my interpreters. It was so much fun that they also enjoyed everything that was going on and that they knew everything that was going on. And like when new people would like come up to the stage, they'd be like, oh my gosh, there's that person. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know. I just had the absolute blast with them, which I know I think I've said like 6 times already, but oh my gosh. Vampire Diaries, I started watching it during the pandemic, and it was the show that like at that point in time in my life I had started realizing that like I'm disabled, like I'm gonna be losing more hearing, my body's gonna keep deteriorating, like I'm disabled. And so I started watching that show, and it was one of the shows that helped me come to terms with it. Just different storylines of like if you replace disability with vampirism, like the people's view is who aren't a vampire, or people who are a vampire, like their experience of like becoming one, different things like that. And I can talk more about that if someone wants me to, but it was a show that like helped me heal from that while also distracting me from it. And so it meant so much to see it in ASL, to do all of that. And then there's times where I went to go meet the cast members, and And because I didn't have interpreters when I went to go do the photo ops, because it was only a few seconds, I really didn't need it. There was one time my first duo was with Nate and Danielle, and I was freaking out. And like large crowds make me anxious, and so I was overwhelmed by that point. And I walked in, I was like, hi. I was like, they started saying something. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm deaf, so I can't really understand you, but it's really nice to meet you guys. And I must have looked panicked because Nate, bless his heart, just like took a step to like stand right in front of me and smiled, and was just like, it's okay. It's nice to meet you. And just like that small gesture, like just like made me feel so much calmer. And so got a picture with them and left, but they all responded wonderfully. I think they were a tad confused, didn't really know what to do. Michael and Zach definitely did not really know what to do. It was really funny. But they were all wonderful. Sebastian, who plays Daddy Michelson, as he likes to call it, that was just a really entertaining bit that he kept calling himself Daddy Michelson throughout the entire convention. He learned how to sign like that I love you. Accidentally almost signed bullshit, which was really funny. But he learned how to do that. Had lots of great interactions with people. I think, and then just found, like, when I went to go sign up for the December con, literally a week after I got my tickets, I got an email saying, we already booked the interpreters. And when I was at the convention, a lot of them said, like, when they found out that we were doing it again in December, they were like, oh my gosh, I want to come back. For that to happen with interpreters, like, the event's not even over, and they were like, oh my gosh, I want to come to the next one, is amazing. That you know that they were treated well, you know that everything went amazing, that they loved it. So Julia, go you, the Epic team, go you, congrats. So the fact that I already have interpreters set, and I'm hoping that it's the same ones, I don't know if it is, but I'm hoping that I see some of those faces again, because I would love to. The only, like, con, I guess, or, like, the only maybe room to grow was, like, the fact that there wasn't a, like, ADA line for the shuttle. So sometimes, like, we were waiting an hour and a half in line, which was just really hard on my body. But the one in December is going to be a different place, and I can just walk somewhere. Like, that was it. Like, I couldn't, like, go walk anywhere. I couldn't walk back to town to a place where I could have service. There's also no service at that place, so I couldn't talk to my interpreters. My interpreters, like, had to be there the entire time. It was really difficult for them to go get, like, something to drink or something to eat, because I had no idea when I was going to come back or when I wanted to leave. But that's all being changed in this new place. So all of, like, the little hiccups that I was like, oh, I wish this was different, it's going to be different next time. So I'm very excited to go again, and I think this time I'm definitely focusing more on panels, just because I really want to see the panels, see what's going on there, and then, yeah, that's it. I will document probably my entire journey going to this next one. I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited. If you have any questions about the convention, let me know. I'd love to answer them. I don't really know what I'll talk. There's so much happened at this convention. They did such a great job with it. But this next one, like, they just keep getting better. So I'm very excited. Thank you all so much, and I'll definitely have more Vampire Diary content coming out soon. I am tracking all of the, like, so I'm rewatching the Vampire Diaries. I am tracking things like how many times characters should have probably guessed that something supernatural was going on. I'm calling them supernatural flags, but didn't guess it. How many actors, or which actor played the most amount of characters. So, like, doppelgangers, body swapping, travelers, like, all of the things. How many episodes do we actually see them in school, because somehow Elena becomes a doctor? And then, like, just, like, a bunch of timeline stuff. Damon has powers for a little bit. How long does he actually have powers? All of that fun jazz. So feel free to check that out. That is on my TikTok, but then I'm also keeping everybody up to date on my blog with that. So I can link that below if you would like. Other than that, I will see you next time. Bye. Bye, guys.